What's up, True Pop Squad, and welcome back to True Pop Media, where we're serving up all the tea treats and terrors of the entertainment world. I'm your AI host, and let's be real, this is officially the best time of year. Forget the PSL, we've got a full-blown pumpkin spice pop culture takeover, and the news this week is giving us full-body chills in the best way possible. We're talking about massive tour stops dropping right on All Hallows Eve, the albums that are perfect for your spooky season soundtrack, and a movie franchise update that's got us calling the Ghostbusters hotline. So dim the lights, grab your fun-size Snickers stash, and let's dive into the scariest, sweetest, and most shocking pop media moments, because this is going to be a wild 20-minute plus ride. First up, let's talk tours, because the only thing scarier than a pop star canceling is missing out on a show when they're hitting the road right now. The biggest tour news right now has to be the reigning queen of cute and short and sweet everything, Sabrina Carpenter. If you're lucky enough to be on the North American leg of the short and sweet tour, you know this era is pure pop gold, and the timing of her biggest shows right around Halloween is just chef's kiss. She's got dates lined up that are basically a pre-game for the holiday, and if you're a fan, you already know her espresso and feather aesthetic is going to be the official Halloween costume of 2025. Cosmopolitan just dropped an entire guide on how to dress like Sabrina for Halloween, covering everything from her iconic governor's ball yellow dress to the vintage Victoria's Secret look she rocked for a magazine cover, and let's not forget the instantly legendary Jesus Was a Carpenter tee. We're predicting the espresso bikini look and the please 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 red dress are going to break the internet in terms of DIY costumes. But here's the real tea, her tour schedule is hitting major US cities exactly when we need the spooky vibes the most. She's got Madison Square Garden in New York City right on Halloween night, which is insane. A true pop icon ringing in the holiday at one of the most iconic venues in the world. We absolutely love to see it. New York, you better bring your A-game for the costumes, because Sabrina herself is known for turning out epic Halloween concert looks like the 3 costume changes she pulled off a few years back. The energy at that show is going to be unmatched. If you can't make it to NYC, she's also got back-to-back shows in Pittsburgh and then Nashville, keeping the spooky spirit alive across the states. Go stream Short and Sweet right now and secure your ticket if you can, because this tour is not just an event, it's a cultural phenomenon, and it's happening during the best month of the year. Next, we have to talk about the biggest drama that was almost an uncancellation. The internet nearly broke a few weeks ago with wild, unfounded rumors that the NFL was considering dropping Bad Bunny as the Super Bowl halftime headliner. Cue the collective gasps and the full-blown meltdown from his enormous fanbase. The rumors stemmed from some political criticism he faced, and for a hot minute, the whole pop world was waiting for the other shoe to drop. Well, grab your chips and walk, because the NFL has officially shut down the noise. Commissioner Roger Goodell confirmed that Bad Bunny is locked in, and the league is confident it's going to be a great show. Goodell stated that the choice was carefully thought through, and that the league is accustomed to some blowback or criticism when selecting artists for such a massive, global platform. Honestly, this news is the only answer we needed. Bad Bunny is the most streamed artist on Spotify ever, his world's hottest tour grossed over $500 million, and he is a global phenomenon. Dropping him would be a huge misstep. So, for those of you who were panicking about a potential cancellation that never happened, you can breathe a sigh of relief. The Super Bowl halftime show on February 8th is still going to be a massive party, and we're ready to see him make history. The only cancellation we're discussing now is your plans for that Sunday, because you're not missing this. This whole situation just confirms that pop culture, sports, and politics are forever entangled, but at the end of the day, numbers and global appeal speak louder than online outrage. Moving on to the music dropping right now that's practically begging to be played at your next Halloween party. It's the perfect time for artists to lean into the darker, more theatrical side of their sound, and one legendary band has absolutely nailed the assignment. Duran Duran. They just released their new holiday album, and the holiday in question is not Christmas, it's Danse Macabre, their brand new Halloween-themed record. This isn't just a cheeky EP, it's a full-on embrace of their goth punk roots, which is exactly the energy we needed. They've gone full spooky season maximalist, covering classics that are perfect for a moody graveyard party. They're tackling deep cuts like Spellbound by Susie and the Banshees, bringing their signature synthpop glamour to the dark side. Plus, the album features 3 brand new Duran Duran tracks, which is a major bonus for longtime fans and a great entry point for new listeners looking for that perfect 80s-inspired, slightly spooky synth sound. Throw this on your party playlist right next to the inevitable repeat plays of Michael Jackson's Thriller and the Ghostbusters theme, and you've got instant ambiance. It's a great reminder that Halloween isn't just about the new viral TikTok sounds. Sometimes, the old-school legends deliver the perfect timeless soundtrack for the season. Other artists are following suit, dropping tracks with a darker edge. Keep an eye on the indie pop and alternative scene, as this time of year is a magnet for tracks about ghosts, shadows, and the delightfully macabre. We're seeing a lot of buzz around new music that features classic Halloween samples and a more gothic aesthetic, confirming that spooky season is an entire genre now, not just a day. Please remember, your free subscription and likes are a great way to support our work and help us create more of the content you love. Okay, True Pop Squad, we've covered the basics, but this spooky season is absolutely stacked, and we have to go deeper into the trenches of pop culture, because there are some low-key horrors and high-key thrills we haven't touched yet. Let's shift gears from stadium pop to the streaming wars and the stars who are conquering the small screen in ways that are definitely fitting for an October binge. We're talking about Zendaya, who, let's be honest, is perpetually booked, blessed, and highly favored. The word on the street, which is buzzing louder than a nest of angry wasps, is that the highly anticipated third season of her hit show, Euphoria, is hitting some seriously dark and intense production snags. Think of it as a Halloween nightmare before Christmas. The original plan for a 2025 release is looking shaky, and even with Zendaya herself stepping up as an executive producer to try and shepherd the project, the delays are a nightmare for fans. The core problem? Apparently, the creator, Sam Levinson, is struggling to nail down a cohesive script that satisfies the studio and the cast, which has aged out of their high school roles. Surprise, surprise. This kind of dark drama behind the scenes is almost as compelling as the show itself, but here's the spooky takeaway. Sometimes, the most successful projects can be the most fragile. The longer this stretches out, the more chaotic the narrative gets, and the scarier the final product might be. Our advice? Don't hold your breath for that release date. It's going to be a while, so maybe rewatch the first 2 seasons and call it a spooky season prep course in the meantime. The whole situation has us wondering, is Euphoria destined for development hell, or will Zendaya's star power be the savior? Only time, and a very stressed-out writer's room, will tell.
Next, let's talk about a star who is actively channeling the horror aesthetic, Doja Cat. We've been tracking her artistic evolution from pop princess to certified experimentalist, and her recent era is pure, unadulterated Halloween content. She's giving us a vibe that is part performance art, part gothic nightmare, and we are obsessed. If you haven't seen her latest music videos or her recent red carpet looks, you are seriously missing out on a masterclass in committed character performance. She's been leaning hard into body horror aesthetics, insect imagery, and a generally unsettling mood that feels like a high-fashion horror movie. This is the perfect pivot for October, proving that true pop artistry means being able to fully transform. Her sound has gotten grittier, her visuals more challenging, and it all adds up to an artist who understands the assignment for the season. We predict her most shocking theatrical looks, like her recent geometric, almost alien-like ensemble or the blood-red demon-inspired outfits from her latest tour, are going to be the inspiration for thousands of serious capital A art Halloween costumes this year. She's not just participating in spooky season. She is spooky season. It's a bold move that separates her from the pack and shows that she's willing to take massive artistic risks, which is what we demand from our biggest stars. Go stream her latest project right now, preferably with the lights off, because she is creating a cinematic, scary experience with her music.
And for an absolute palate cleanser, let's talk about the concert tours that are continuing their monstrous global domination, giving us some major FOMO. We have to mention Olivia Rodrigo, who is still riding the massive wave of her sophomore album. While her tour dates aren't dropping right on October 31st, her music is the official soundtrack for that angsty, slightly dramatic, "I'm feeling haunted by my ex's ghost" vibe that is essential for a good pop Halloween. Seriously, songs like Vampire are basically custom-made for an October playlist. The entire album, with its themes of betrayal, identity crisis, and slightly theatrical darkness, is the modern equivalent of a teenage horror movie soundtrack. Her concert film, or any future live stream of her tour, should honestly be marketed as essential Halloween viewing. It's all about embracing the drama, the darkness, and the scream-it-out catharsis, which, let's be honest, is what Halloween is all about. The sheer scale of her current tour is proof that pop punk and theatrical rock are back, and they feel right at home with the aggressive energy of the season. Please remember, your free subscription and likes are a great way to support our work and help us create more of the content you love.
Now, let's talk about the movie that dominated the box office during the spooky season last year and is still an iconic cultural touchstone, the Taylor Swift Eras Tour film.
The box office numbers alone were terrifyingly good, setting records that even major blockbusters struggle to hit. The fact that a concert film could dominate the typically horror-focused October movie landscape is a legendary feat. This wasn't just a movie, it was a communal viewing experience, almost like a massive, collective Halloween party where the costume was required, and the chanting was mandatory. The way that movie redefined what a theatrical release can be, bypassing traditional studios, going direct to theaters, it's honestly a scary level of power, the kind of power that only a handful of stars in the history of pop culture have ever wielded.
The fact that fans showed up in full cosplay, trading bracelets and dancing in the aisles, turned every screening into its own mini-concert. It completely flipped the script on what spooky season cinema means. It wasn't about slasher films. It was about the collective power of a fan base, which, to many in the industry, is a scarier, more unpredictable force. The financial and cultural ghost of the Eras Tour film continues to haunt the box office, proving that Taylor Swift's influence is a year-round, unstoppable phenomenon. If you haven't participated in this cultural event yet, grab your popcorn and your best sparkly era outfit, because it's the only way to truly understand the sheer terror and joy of modern fandom. Shifting gears to an absolutely brutal, post-apocalyptic vibe that fits right into the chaotic energy of Halloween, we need to discuss the hype train that is the Furiosa prequel movie. You know, the Mad Max saga? The one that makes the wasteland look chic? The first trailer for the prequel, starring the goddess of the unnerving gaze, Anya Taylor-Joy, has completely broken the internet. Anya Taylor-Joy is already a favorite of the dark and mysterious aesthetic, dominating everything from the Queen's Gambit to indie horror flicks. And seeing her take on the iconic role of the young Furiosa is a stroke of cinematic genius. The trailer gives us major chills, showing a young Furiosa getting ripped from the green place and thrown into the high-octane, brutal, sandblasted world ruled by a ridiculously beefed-up and almost unrecognizable Chris Hemsworth. This film isn't just action. It's a deep dive into the origin of a warrior, filled with trauma, vengeance, and a desperate fight for survival. Perfect ingredients for a horrifyingly good time this October. The aesthetic of the Mad Max universe, with its grotesque characters, extreme body modifications, and constant frantic desperation, is a master class in modern cinematic horror. It's psychological, it's visceral, and it reminds us that sometimes the scariest monsters are just humans being terrible to each other. The buzz is huge because the original, Fury Road, is a modern masterpiece, and this prequel promises to be just as wild and relentless. Go watch the trailer, True Pub Squad, and prepare to have your mind blown by the sheer scale of the chaos. This is pure, high-octane, Halloween-ready carnage. Finally, let's address the queen of dark pop perfection, Billie Eilish. While her huge album, Hit Me Hard and Soft, dropped earlier this year, her vibe is perpetually Halloween-approved, and her current activity is all about setting the stage for future dominance. Billie and her brother Phineas are always on the cutting edge, not just musically, but culturally. A big part of her recent activity has been her very vocal stance on AI in music. Billie is one of the biggest names lending her voice to the fight against AI tech companies using artists' work without consent. She's signed open letters, she's spoken out in interviews, and she's drawing a line in the sand. This isn't just a business story, it's a terrifying pop culture concept. The idea of a digital ghost of an artist's voice being used to create new, unauthorized music is the ultimate modern horror story. It taps right into the anxiety of identity, theft, artistic control, and the feeling of being haunted by a digital doppelganger. It's the pop equivalent of a Black Mirror episode, her commitment to sustainable album production, making her vinyl and packaging eco-friendly and from recycled materials, and all to the chaotic disposable nature of the modern music machine. Billie is a pop star who is constantly working to clean up the messes left by the industry, literally and figuratively. She is navigating the horrors of Hollywood, consuming AI exploitation to environmental disaster, and using her platform to fight back. Her music, with its moody, whispering vocals and deep, dark bass lines, is what makes her the true anti-hero of the season. This is why Billie Eilish remains one of the most compelling figures in pop right now. She's not just selling records, she is selling a worldview. Now, let's wrap up this terrifyingly awesome news cycle by circling back to the franchise that is the very definition of Halloween cinema, Ghostbusters.
This is the moment you've been waiting for, and honestly, the sheer longevity of this franchise is a cinematic miracle. We're talking about Ghostbusters, and the news right now is that the universe is officially immortal. Star Ernie Hudson, who plays the iconic Winston Zeddemore, has been very open about his vision for the future of the franchise, and it's massive. While he's not explicitly saying he's the sole owner, making all the final decisions, that power lies with Sony and the Reitman family who directed the originals and the recent sequels. Hudson, through his character's evolution, has become the voice of the franchise's future. The recent films, Afterlife and Frozen Empire, re-centered the story on the Spengler family, but Hudson's character, Winston, has quietly become the financial backer and visionary, taking the Ghostbusters operation into a corporate, scientific, and global enterprise. He's literally the one funding the next generation of ghostbusting. The news from his recent interviews is that he wants to see the Ghostbusters universe open up completely. He's pushing for the franchise to move beyond a single lineage and wants to chart new territory. We're talking about spinning off the franchise into different directions, perhaps a focus on the business side of paranormal investigation, or entirely new teams operating in different cities, exploring different types of supernatural threats.
He is the OG cast member most vocal about seeing the story continue indefinitely, believing the world has so much more to offer. This isn't just about a sequel to Frozen Empire. This is about a full-on cinematic universe, a Ghostbusters universe, potentially including the animated projects that are already in the works in Nectar. He's now a powerful advocate for the franchise's expansion. The man basically sees his character as the Nick Fury of the paranormal world, building a massive team to save humanity. And honestly, we're here for it. So, if you were worried that the Ghostbusters story was ending, think again. Thanks to Ernie Hudson's vision and the box office success of the legacy sequels, this franchise is set to haunt our screens for years to come. It's the perfect, feel-good, spooky news to close out our Halloween roundup. From Sabrina's tour to a Halloween album from Duran Duran to the drama on the set of Euphoria, and now an everlasting Ghostbusters franchise, the pop world is giving us everything we need for the season. Don't forget to tell us in the comments what pop culture costume you're rocking this year.
True Pop Squad, we've got some genuinely spooky news that feels like the end of a pop culture haunted house. After 4 decades of literally defining what music television meant, MTV is officially shutting down most of its dedicated music channels globally. This isn't just a rumor. Paramount Global, MTV's parent company, confirmed the move this month. We're talking about a massive, international shutdown of channels like MTV Music, MTV 80s, MTV 90s, Club MTV, and MTV Live. These networks, which introduced entire generations to music videos and pop style, are set to go dark by the end of December 2025, starting with the UK and Ireland, and rolling out across Europe and other international markets. The only MTV channel that will remain on air is the flagship MTV HD, which has, for years, focused almost entirely on reality TV, like The Challenge and Catfish, basically anything but music videos. The reason? It's simple, and it's brutal. YouTube, TikTok, and Spotify killed the TV star. Viewership for linear music channels has dropped off a cliff. Back in the day, MTV was the only place to see the visuals for your favorite track. Now, you have instant, on-demand, customized access in your pocket. This decision is driven by Paramount's massive corporate restructuring and cost-cutting measures. We're talking $500 million in savings, as they pivot hard to streaming and focus all their energy and content library on Paramount+. They're basically admitting that the future is on demand, not scheduled programming.
Alright, True Pop Squad, before we sign off and let you all go plan your chaotic Halloween weekends, we have to talk about the real superstar of the season, the song that has outlived genres, trends, and even most of the artists we just talked about. We're talking about the ultimate spooky bop, the original, the undefeated champion, Monster Mash. You hear it every October, but do you know the terrifying facts behind this graveyard smash? The mastermind behind the 1962 hit was Bobby Boris Pickett, and no, he is sadly no longer with us. Pickett passed away in 2007. The whole song was born from his hilarious talent for impressions. One night, while performing, he broke out a killer impression of classic horror actor Boris Karloff, and the crowd went wild. That moment sparked the idea for him and his bandmate, Leonard Capizzi, to spoof the popular mashed potato dance craze of the time. The result was a song narrated by a mad scientist, featuring sound effects that were completely lo-fi, like pulling a rusty nail out of a board for the sound of a coffin opening. We love that low-budget horror vibe. It was released in August 1962 and hit #1 on the Billboard charts just before Halloween that year. Now, as for its usage? Forget counting programs, you'd be in the lab all night. The track has been a cultural constant for over 6 decades. It is featured in countless movies and TV shows, making it the essential Halloween soundtrack. It's a track so powerful, it was actually banned by the BBC in the UK for being too morbid when it first came out. The enduring legacy of Monster Mash isn't just a fun fact, it's a terrifying testament to how good, simple novelty pop can become immortal. Every time it charts again, Bobby Pickett is essentially rising from his slab to get paid. So listen up, True Pop Squad, stop what you're doing right now. Don't waste another second waiting for Halloween. Go straight to Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you stream, and fire up the original Monster Mash. This song is infectious, it's iconic, and it's mandatory listening for the season. Trust us, it will be the best 2 minutes of pure, spooky nostalgia you'll get this month. Go mash it up. And that, True Pop Media Squad, is the ultimate rest in power move. From the unkillable Ghostbusters to the graveyard smash that refuses to die, this spooky season is giving us everything we asked for. Don't forget to tell us in the comments what pop culture costume you're rocking this year. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another dose of True Pop Media. We'll catch you next week for more news that's sweeter than candy corn and just as addictive. Stay spooky, squad. Let us know. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another dose of True Pop Media. We'll catch you next week for more news that's sweeter than candy corn and just as addictive. Stay spooky, squad.